My own journey in the space of IVF lawyering would be, I would say, for last 11 years, I had the uh, opportunity of doing one of the first consumer cases on IVF, which was way back in 2011. And I'll come straight to the point. That time there was no ART Act, there was no surrogacy related laws, there was no control of ICMR. We just had a radiology related few legislations. There are doctors in the room. I have worked with them. Dr. Shweta, I have worked for many, many years in many roles. And I can tell you, you should be very happy that despite few losses which the sector has, like the surrogacy, which was happening in a manner where opportunity used to come from across the globe, now it is much regulated to very limited manner. But at the same time, there is a exponential growth which has happened in the IVF sector as such. And if you see that and couple it with the kind of legal regime which is being created around it, you are in much safer atmosphere now. Supreme Courts, normally any litigation or any big legal issue reaches at a very late stage. In my own understanding, in last 25 years, many of the matters which I started in 98, 99 when I started practicing, they never reached Supreme Court actually. But here, in last 3 years, at least 4 to 5 critical IVF related matters have gone right up to Supreme Court. And what are those matters? And why I'm talking about them is that every issue, whether it's the age of the donor, age of the parents, age of the mother, age of the father, all these issues have started going right up to Supreme Court. ICMR is not supposed to be the only agency which will regulate like Competition Commission or any other regulator. ICMR is more advisory in nature, and they still crib that the overall growth of the IVF sector is not depicted in their registry, because hardly 20-22% clinics are mandatorily registered with ICMR. But I can tell you, there are two wings of my limited address. One is that if you see the respect which the Indian IVF sector has got in last 5 years, how will you see that when the health law related panels happen in the lawyers body? We have bodies like International Bar Association, Indo-Pacific Bar Association, and health is a very important subject. You know what they discuss? They don't discuss pharma. They don't discuss public health. They discuss knee transplant and IVF mostly, because these are the costs which is discussed in these forums. So how much is the cost in your country? What are the legal regime? How much time it takes? How many failed cycle? And there are countries which have caps on the failed cycle. In our country, still we are in the evolution phase. But what I can tell you, that every minor offenses are now going to go up and up into courts, because consumer courts are sitting mostly in an online manner. Unless some judge, my lawyer friend will agree, unless some judge insists, a lot of people are now willing to listen it to online. The Supreme Court expects most of these tribunals to listen to matters online. It has become easy to sit in Noida and file a case in Lucknow in a consumer forum, which was a task 10 years back. I remember representing hospitals before Lucknow Consumer Forum. It was a task for a hospital, but it was not difficult for the complainant. He used to go, he had more time. Now he will be there. Now it is up to you, you want to defend online or you want to go to the court. So access to justice, access to legal recourse has become little easier. Just be alive to that. The second thing is, a lot of protocols with working with great doctors. Dr. Shweta is here. I had the privilege of working with her in many, many places. We have devised a lot of systems on data, privacy, how patients should be interacted with, how you write your prescription, how you'll protect your overall IPR, how will you do your contracts. Now the contracts are also under a new regime after the passing of a Supreme Court judgment, that you can actually stop your consultants and employees. They just can't go from one company to another company because of the fundamental rights which we have been guaranteed in our constitution. Now the Supreme Court judgment says that if you can show that you have trained or you have spent money in the training of a doctor or a consultant, then you have ways and means to recover that amount before that person decides to migrate to some other company. So all this landscape is changing very fast, and this is sometimes swinging in favor of a patient, sometimes it is swinging in favor of the doctor. My two important reminders to you is ICMR 20% factor, please remember, but the other factor you must remember, that what is your best example of advocacy and policy in health sector in India? With due respect, pharma. You see, anybody who wants to do advocacy and policy in India, and I'm talking about law firms, I'm talking about the consulting companies, where do they look at? Cricket and pharma. You know why? Because cricket, across political parties, there is no discrimination, no discord. You will find one Rajya Sabha MP from Congress as the BCCI Vice President, IPL Commissioner, same person in Rajya Sabha criticizing the other side. So that kind of coordination is there in pharma also. Whether it's a domestic pharma or international pharma, their voice before the parliament through member of parliaments is very, very vocal, very organized. It's in fact a case study for other industries, for steel, for hospitality. Gaming has not been able to do it. Hospitals have not been able to do it. IVF has certainly not been able to do it. So when the Surrogacy Act came, when a lot of restrictions came on you, we were part of the debates. My partner, Patel Chandok, was going to the parliament. She was contributing to the surrogacy bill and all the deliberations. We were helping them. We had represented by then 7 to 8 IVF chains. And we were knowing what all is coming our way. It was a clean sweep for the government. There was no unity amongst doctors or any IVF. With due respect, you criticize me, like me, don't like me. My request to you, now you're getting bigger and bigger. Every nook and corner, when I start from my house in Noida in Sector 40, I go to Supreme Court, not even a single IVF clinic was there. Now there are at least 7, Dr. Shweta. Kailash also has got into IVF, I just saw. So what I'm saying, now is the time for you, and this is my last piece of advice, that please start creating a robust regulator, ombudsman for you. Kamal is here who understands this sector. We are happy to provide you all the knowledge in this regard. Don't be dependent upon any industrial body, any business body, any other representative body. Become your own regulator, become your own ombudsman. That will serve you great purpose in future when more legislation will happen. Look at what is happening to gaming now. First, gaming was not legalized. And then everybody went and cried and cried. Finally, it was legalized by the Supreme Court. The government say, okay, fine, we'll give 55,000 jobs and a lot of revenue will come. Suddenly, for last 6 months, the taxation issue and the GST and other aspects. So even if they are very united, it's getting very difficult. So my suggestion is become big, create more clinics. But as I always said, that create your policy and robustness in such a manner, create your ombudsman in such a manner that the government should learn from you. The government should say, yes, this sector, we will learn from them. They are creating a policy document. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. Amit Patki to please felicitate our speaker.